This is the No BS Coaching Advice Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to, I think it's episode 83, something along those lines, of the No BS Coaching Advice Podcast. I'd like to spend a few minutes regularly talking with you about some element of life, the universe, and everything. And I thought I would do a show today that I'm going to call, for now, Ordinary versus Extraordinary. See, most of my career has been as a headhunter, where I've worked with people who organizations want to hire for a nice, neat little box. We've got an org chart. We need to fill someone into the org chart who can do such and such for us. In other words, factory work. They won't call it that. You're in a nice, pretty office building. You're not on a hot floor, being involved with manufacturing stuff. This isn't the 19th century or even the early 20th century. You're doing office work, but it's still like a factory, isn't it? And I was thinking today about how ordinary is really doomed. And was thinking about some of the changes that have taken place in my lifetime. I'm just going to talk about financial services for a second. The idea of a bank used to be a place that you could only go to between the hours of 9 and 3 p.m. because they needed time to get all the paperwork into the Federal Reserve in order to settle by the time they reopened the next day. Obviously, banking has changed a little bit, and the idea of 24-hour and online banking didn't exist. Even as we start to get into more modern times, and I have to phrase it that way because we've already surpassed this point, but as we start to get into web-based e-commerce, and a service like PayPal became so important and so profound, and would ding us, and we didn't care because, frankly, we just love the idea of getting paid so easily, right? And now we look at PayPal as being a bit anachronistic. We like Venmo, we like other services that don't charge us. They're getting their money in a different way. And although PayPal is still a Goliath, there's other variables within PayPal that are less expensive to the consumer that makes you stop and wonder, why am I paying for stuff? Like in my coaching practice, I direct people to different services where I'm not being charged. And I say, if as a last resort you need PayPal, do it. But there are other things like Zelle and Venmo. And I've started using a new service called TransPay. It's an experiment for now. I have no idea if it'll work for me, but I'm looking at services where people can easily pay me and they're not charged and I'm not charged. Why do we have to be charged for stuff? Now, the point to all of this is to talk to you in your career. And if you think you can do the same thing for the next 40 years of your life, you're wrong. Change has come, and change is always coming. And again, back to my time in recruiting, I remember a conversation I had with someone many, many years ago. And we had met and we were doing some networking and sharing fees as recruiters, and he was frustrated. He was saying, I've got all these great COBOL programmers, and no one wants to hire them. And I directly said to him, you're right, no one wants to hire them. You have to get what they want. And folks, if you want to stay ordinary, you're going to make ordinary money, do ordinary work, and do stuff that's going to cause your mind to go blank on you. You're going to be dulled out by the factory that is the world of work at so many organizations. As you interview at places, I want to encourage you, take a little bit of time and ask yourself, as they ask you, what are you looking for in a new organization? You might say to them, I'm looking for a firm that doesn't want to be ordinary and hire ordinary people to work in little boxes in an org chart. I want to join an organization where I can be extraordinary, where I can open up, do great stuff, be involved with an organization that wants to do great things and feel inspired by my work. If you want me to be someone who's going to sit quietly and be slave-like, not for me. What I'm looking for is to be great. I hope you are too. And watch their reaction. It's harder as you get older because you feel like there are responsibilities that you have that don't permit you to do this kind of play. But I'm telling you, folks, a lifetime is not a long time. And if you want to spend your life doing this, great. I encourage you to go out and allow organizations to dull your senses, dull your feelings, and bore the tears out of you. But if you want to do something more, don't try and get in there and try and work the system, because the system is set to crush you. It's set to destroy you as an individual and have you work, to have you work. So, again, my thoughts are, if you want to make change, it has to start with you. Hope you found this helpful. If you're interested in my coaching you about this or any other aspect, reach out to me. Easiest way to do it is through LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. Tell me that you listen to the podcast, because I just like knowing that people are listening and that I've been helpful to folks. And, once we're connected, message me about coaching. I'd love to help you. If you only have a couple of questions, the best way to do it is through an app called Magnify, MAGNIFI. That's one way to do it. It's an iOS-only app. And then from there, if you're not an iOS user, you can call me through Presto Experts, where I'm a job search and career coaching expert. Hope you have a great day. Take care.